Hi, folks. Thanks for tuning in for another edition of Puffin's Pothead Passages with me, Puffin, and the King James Version of the Bible, of the New Testament of the Bible that I got from the dollar store. And thanks to the weed, that was just Critical Mustache that I got from the Live Well store, which is fantastic, fantastic place. And I wanted to say before I start this one that I didn't do these last couple days. I kind of got into the habit of doing them every single morning. Today we don't really have a fantastic sunset. It's a beautiful day, but literally not a cloud in the sky, so nothing to really catch the colors and make a fantastic sunset. So I'm not filming a sunset. It's about sunset right now. But I've gotten in the habit of doing these in the morning, and they're a great way to start the day. So I wanted to highly encourage you to, whether it's the Bible, or I might mix it up and do like another religious book or another inspiring book, and start doing the same format with those. But whatever you have handy, pick a random page. There's an old magic called bibliomancy, which is basically the art of picking a random page. Supposedly how the Grateful Dead got their name. They picked a random page and found the Grateful Dead in there. It's a type of magic, but don't be afraid of it. It's just books. Pick a random page and you know ask for the Spirit to guide you to whatever passage. So that's what I do. I've been trying to favor the Gospels at the front of the book. That's what I'm more familiar with. I don't want to be in completely unfamiliar territory. Although an interesting thing about the Bible is it's very mysterious. There's always something new to discover and find out about. Now, I also have a tendency, I realized I've always kind of focusing on the right page in certain areas. I'm going to try to maybe focus on the left page this time and pick something there. Just kind of go where I feel. But anyway, I did want to just mention that since I haven't done these for a couple days, I thought about doing them in the morning. I end up doing something else, get distracted, put it aside, and I miss it. So I wanted to mention that and encourage you to do this with anything that you find handy. Just to get into the habit of it, whether you record it or not, just to try it out, see what you get when you open up a book like a fortune cookie. So I'm going to do that now and see what I get and turn to what turns out to be Mark 12:15. And it says, "Shall we give or shall we not give? But he, knowing their hypocrisy, said unto them, Why tempt ye me? Bring me a penny, that I may see it. And they brought it. And he saith unto them," which is pretty awesome when you think about it. A penny is probably, whatever the translation is, it's probably the smallest denomination of coins. He's like, "Anybody got a penny?" Like, I don't have a penny. Anybody here got a penny I can use? It's a pretty awesome moment, just that. But anyway, back to the book. "Bring me a penny that I may see it. And they brought it. And he saith unto them, Whose is this image and superscription? And they said unto him, Caesar's. And Jesus answering said unto them, Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's. And they marveled at him. Whoa. So why did they marvel? They marveled at him, okay? Now, we've heard this phrase over thousands of years. We've heard this phrase a few different times, and we probably have some interpretations of it, some understandings of it, or think we have some understandings of it, and maybe they're great. I don't even know that I understand what people understand that to typically mean. I can make a presumption, but that's kind of a waste of time. Let's assume that people think they know what that means, and maybe they're right. What do I think it means right now? Man, it sure seems to mean that while I can hear echoes of this being said over and over again through time, I can hear it being said as a way of Jesus saying, using Jesus's words to explain, hey, it's good to support the government. Let the government be supported. Now, if you want to take that interpretation, take it. I think that's kind of a basic interpretation, but if you want to take that interpretation, take it. And it means pay your taxes. Do you hear that? Pay your taxes. Like Jesus told you to pay your taxes. Like, sorry, Trump, your tax returns just got ruled to be able to be turned over to the DA, which, who knows how long it'll take before they get leaked or known to the world or whatever. But, you'll be prosecuted for what they find in it and what your organization's done. And all these people whining about taxes and stuff, all these conservatives who aren't even probably paying taxes, but whining about the taxes that rich people would have to pay, or cheering on rich people getting tax breaks, even though they don't see any of that. It's like, actually just pay your taxes, because we could all use that money better than you're choosing to use it on yachts or whatever. And so it's like, pay your taxes. Jesus told you, if it's got the government seals on it, give it to the government, you're supposed to eventually do that. Like, so follow that rule if you're interpreting it that way. But what I'm interested in here is what we're missing in a usual typical interpretation of a phrase that we've heard a lot. Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's and give unto God what is God's. And the first thing that we seem to be missing is the second whole half of it. What is the giving unto God what is God's? Whether or not this means pay your taxes and support the government or not, or how, detailed or how specific that's supposed to be interpreted, or which government you're supposed to, etc. All that stuff aside, the second part, giving to God what is God's, or reuniting your spirit with the divine spirit. I like to avoid the terminology God personally, but that's what's in the book. Uniting in spirit is the second half. And are we doing that? So I want to just feel this out a little bit more while I have a little bit more time, and see what he says before and after this. Because they marveled at him. So while we've heard this enough that it's become cliche and we think we understand it all, then maybe we don't. When they heard it, they marveled. This was an amazing thing to say. So maybe we're missing part of what he was saying at the time, and we're missing part of what he was saying means for us today. But let's read just a little bit more. Then come unto him the Sadducees, which say there is no resurrection. And they asked him, saying, well, this is going to open up a whole new topic. Let's read it anyway, to see what this is presented between. But Master, Moses wrote unto us, if a man's brother die and leave his wife behind him and leave no children, that his brother should take his wife and raise up. This is a whole other topic I can't get into. Let me backtrack then and read what's before. Shall we give or shall we not give? Why did this come up? The last thing Jesus has said, it seems to be the end of a very long thing of Jesus' saying. So let me just skip to Mark 12:10. End of what he's saying is, and have ye not read this scripture? The stone which the builders rejected is become the head of the corner. I think I addressed this actually in a previous video. This was the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes. This is all about the things that are being rejected. Like, it's prophecy when people are telling you green energy, clean up your police departments, universal health care. These are all prophets. There's millions of them telling you this, but they're all prophets and they're being rejected. But that principle, those principles of these prophets, of these people speaking the word of the holy goddess or God, wherever you want to call it, these holy words, the ones who are bringing that to you are being rejected, but they are going to be the cornerstone of the new reality that we're turning a corner on and forming right now. So this is why I thought this is so important, and why I'm focusing on it so much right now. But this was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Now it's interesting that I skip back a few paragraphs, and it's marvelous in our eyes, and then they're going to marvel at him after the next thing he says. But this is the setup for it. Mark 12:12. And they sought to lay hold on him, but feared the people, for they knew that he had spoken the parable against them, and they left him and went their way. That's the authorities, like the religious authorities who are challenging Jesus because they feel like he's challenging them in their authority, because he is. He's a greater authority than them. He's speaking the truth more than they are. Sound familiar? And they went their way. And they send unto him certain of the Pharisees and of the Herodians to catch him in his words. Herodians, I guess, are people who follow Herod or support Herod, who catch him in his words. So they're trying to trick him. They're trying to troll him, if you understand modern terminology. And when they were come, they said unto him, Master, we know that thou art true, and carest for no man, for thou regardest not the person of men. Not you don't care about any man, meaning you are so true that you don't care what people say about you. Like, he's real. It's what we call being real. For thou regardest not the person of men. You don't care what people say about you, but teachest the way of God in truth. So they've set him up with this kind of flattery. We're agreeing you, like sea lion in you. Is it lawful to give tribute to Caesar or not? That's where they thought they were going to trick him. So that's when his response was, shall we give or shall we not give? But he, knowing their hypocrisy, said unto them, why tempt ye me? Bring me a penny that I may see it. So while we focus on the analogy, what he's telling me, bring me a penny, let me tell you who to give this to. me tell you where you can stick it, basically is what he's saying to him. We focus on that part of the analogy, but he's saying this to him basically to say, I'm not answering your question. You're too hypocritical to understand. You're just trying to trick me. You're trying to play a game. The real message is that second part, give unto God what is God's. And they're not doing it. Like in some way, all he's saying is, I'm of God and I'm asking for your attention. And so when you apply your attention, you will receive this holy, the blessing of having been somebody who talked to me and had a good, positive, productive exchange. Instead, you were trying to troll. So you kind of shut them down. And it's kind of wrong and simplistic. It's definitely wrong to take it to mean support your government, unquestioningly. I'm sitting here saying pay your taxes, because the people who really pay the taxes are the rich people, or they should be paying the taxes, because that's what the whole deal is for, to somehow redistribute things so that people can be taken care of. Like, you need to do it in Texas. You need to redo their power grid. And there's this battle of like people suing the Texas power companies because they got these bills, and then suggesting that maybe the government should pay the bill. No, the government should take over the system. Like, you're going to have to do that in so many different cases, because the barons who have run it have run into the ground at the expense of everybody. So all this stuff's getting turned around. I'm running out of time on the video, but I do appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for another one. I think this was Puffin's Pothead Passages number 8. I think it did turn out great, and looking forward to doing it again. But also encourage you to do some of your own, just inspecting, exploring any book you have on hand, but especially something that you find inspiring or that has some type of mystery or magic or power to it. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and God bless you. God bless you. Jesus bless you. Jesus bless you. I bless you. Bless yourself. Thanks. See you soon.